Well, thanks, Jeff, and thanks, Gareth. I first came through Edale, I hate to say this, 45 years ago, when I was walking the Pennine Way. And I can remember going up over Wicklow, and then the worst bit was going up onto the top of Black Hill, which was a morass of bog with this trig point stuck in the middle of it. And the peat was just eroding away almost in front of your eyes. Now, that was 45 years ago. What Moors for the Future have been doing rather wonderfully over the last 10 years is to put right some of that degradation of the peat covering of these great moorlands. The work that Moors for the Future has done, I think has had a range of really important achievements. The first, of course, is helping to store carbon, because the peat covering of these moorlands holds a huge amount of carbon reserve. The more that the peat erodes, the more the carbon evaporates, the less the ability of the moorland to absorb more carbon in the future. From the point of view of helping to diminish the impacts of climate change, this is an incredibly important bit of work. It's our equivalent of the rainforests of the Amazon. This is something that we need to steward and preserve to the best of our ability. And Moors for the Future has been helping to do that. The second thing that Moors for the Future has been doing, and this is especially important to us in the Environment Agency, is improving the quality of the watercourses. Because if the peat doesn't disintegrate into the watercourses, with all the toxins that can come with it, with all the discoloration that can come with it, you improve water quality. And from the point of view of fulfilling our international obligations under the Water Framework Directive, and from the point of view of having clean rivers, this project is of major benefit. Thirdly, the project is also about creating and sustaining habitats. Some of the iconic species that Gareth was talking about, the curlew, for example. Let's make sure that the curlew has a habitat for the future, that it's got somewhere to live and breathe and have its being over future years. And the fourth thing, which I hope we will be able to demonstrate over time, is that there is also, by the work that's happening up here in the moorlands, a potential benefit in controlling flood risk further down the catchments. Because, of course, the more water that you can hold up here, the less will affect towns and communities further down the rivers at times of very high flow. So, multiple benefits from the Moors for the Future programme. And I very much hope that over the next 10 years, we'll be able to continue that work and make it even better. But what we're launching today, the Community Science Project, is something that takes all of this a little bit further. Because what it does is it says to the community, both volunteers and casual visitors, it says to them, you can be our eyes and ears. You can find out and tell us what's happening up on the moorland, what impact both the work that we're doing in securing the peat covering for the moorland is having, and what impact climate change over time is having. These increasingly erratic weather patterns that we're seeing, certainly over the course of last year and certainly over the course of this morning as well. Having people telling us in a way that having 2 scientists going up onto the moor can't. But having hundreds of people over time reporting back, looking, listening, hearing, and then reporting on what they see and what they find. That's going to be incredibly important information. It's going to enable us to track what's happening with the Moors for the Future programme, and it's going to enable us to track what's happening to the moorland itself and the way in which it's changing as the climate changes. So enlisting the community to help is I think, going to be a really useful exercise. And the putting of funds into this, the organising of it, the putting everything in place, a real tribute to everyone who's been involved, and especially to the Heritage Lottery Fund for putting some funding into it. This work is going to go on, I hope, for many years to come. It will give us a lot of very helpful information. It will enable us to learn about the successes and the achievements and also the mistakes that are made here and apply them better elsewhere. But it's also, I hope, going to show us in graphic detail those real benefits that have come from the Moors for the Future programme and enable us to go knocking on doors in Europe and elsewhere over the years to come to say this project is well worth sustaining and well worth making sure that it can last not just for the next 10 years but hopefully beyond. So well done on everything that's been achieved so far. Well done on putting the community science project in place, and good luck for its work and its success in the future.